Okay, I think it's probably worthwhile doing a YouTube on the solutions for this week's quiz for A, B, C, and D. So here's the solution for A. Part 1, question 1 and question 2. And what I did in question 1 is I wrote a separate function, value of letter, which returns the value of letter. I begin inside the function by defining all the lowercase letters in the alphabet, but I put a space in here, and so if I do an lc.find of letter, because of the space, it's going to return a value of 1 for A, 2 for B. I want you to look at this and think about it. Then with that function written, then I do points for A, and what I do is begin by setting up a accumulator. It's going to be a sum accumulator. Set that equal to 0, and then I traverse the word with indices, and so I go for index and range len of a word, and so one index at a time, starting with 0, going up to the last index of word. I have a conditional to see if word of index equals letter, and if it is, I sum index into the accumulator. So I get the sum of all the indices if I do that. Then when I'm all done, I return not the sum of the indices, but the sum of the indices, which are in accumulator, times the value of letter. And then for part 2, I simply traverse all the letters and all the letter and letters. So I do that with a for loop, and I initialize my sum accumulator to begin with, and then I update it using the previous function I just wrote, and then return the accumulator. Then in the bottom here I have a main where I run question 1. In question 2, the print with parens puts a space in, and here you have the answer to question 1, the test answer, and the test answer for question 2. And so I do a similar thing for the other ones. I'll go over those quickly. So here's the B solution, and basically it is identical to the A solution, except that in points for B I have a cum times value of letter squared. Everything else is pretty much the same. It uses points for B, obviously, and total points for B. And I do a test run. And then the solution for C is, again, the same thing, except I have a cum times value of letter star 0.5, which is the square root. You could also have imported squirt from the math library. And then I use the function from 1 in question 2 appropriately here. Here's my test run. I do it with the main. And then for D, everything is the same, except in points for D it's returning a cum times value of letter cubed. And then here's the test run for part 2 and for part 1 for D. So take a look at this code. Look at it. You can see there's a huge amount of commonality. Really the only difference between the 3 codes is what you do in the points for A, B, C, or D, what exponent you put here. It varies from one to the next. So I will post this as well as the Python code.